Welcome everyone. We'll get started here in a few minutes. We'll give everyone a few seconds to get in. Everyone's having a great day. It's warm here still. No rain. We had a couple, I guess, had rain last week, but still pretty dry. So that's good. Get cold soon. Everyone's still coming in, and then we're getting excited on campus next week. Next Saturday, September 24th is the M-Day football game. So if you're in town, we'd love to have you come to the M-Hill picnic on the Friday, September 23rd. That's at 12. There is a cost to attend a picnic this year. That's $10 a person. And then we're doing the alumni social that Friday at 5:30 at the Cerbex Center. That's $25 a person, but that does include heavy appetizers and some drink tickets. So, and we're going to honor our 2020 and 2021 outstanding recent graduates. So we'd love to have you. Okay, well, I'm sure a couple other people will join, but we'll get started. Hello, and then welcome to today's Digital Lunch and Learn. Today, South Dakota Mines President Jim Rankin, EE78, will be providing us with a campus update. My name is Sarah Von Eye, and I'm the Interim Alumni Director here at CARA. Just some housekeeping things before we get started. This event is being recorded, and after we'll upload it to our YouTube channel. So if you need to view it again, you'll be able to access there. If you can, everyone likes to see who's always here. Use the chat function and just put your class and major, and make sure it goes to panelists and everyone so that everyone kind of sees. So without further ado, please welcome South Dakota Mines President Jim Rankin, EE78.
Sarah, thank you. Glad and welcome. A happy morning, or a good morning and a good afternoon, depending where you're at. And I've got a few slides here, probably more than I should have, but I'll go through those and hopefully leave a lot of time for questions and answers as it might be. Actually calling in from, or zooming in from Sioux Falls over here, talking to Architects Conference this morning. So glad to be with you. Jade, next slide, please. I always start with kind of an update on what our campus leadership team looks like. And a lot of them that are saying, Bill Spindle there is our new CFO. He joined us last year, just a couple of weeks before the pandemic started. And so a lot of people have not had a chance to meet him. Joe DeLucos is our new Dean of Students, took Pat Mann's place. Pat retired over the summer after 21 years here on campus. Kelsey O'Neill's our AVP for Human Resources, replaced Kelly Schumann, who moved to another university. And then Paul Kruger is our new CEO of CARA, the Center for Alumni Relations and Advancement. And then the newest addition to the team is Jade. Jade's been here a while, but we've given her a new title of Chief of Staff. So she's joined our Executive Council team in that role as well. So next slide, please. We've done a little bit of reorganization, and I won't go into a lot of depth, but when Pat Mann was here, she was actually a VP for Student Development and Dean of Students. And then as she left and Joe came in, we've actually rolled that office underneath the provost. So we've combined those two positions. So you can see the provost reporting structure. He's got the AVP of Enrollment Management, who is Molly Moore, the Dean of Graduate Education, Mary Beth Price, AVP of Student Development, that's Joe DeLucos, Director of Student Success is Lisa Carlson, and an AVP of Academic Affairs, Darcy, is just brand new to our organization, just came in and joined us this summer. So a few new places in there, and then obviously the department heads all report back to the provost as well. Next slide. Well, we were kind of hoping we wouldn't have COVID this year, but that's not been the case with the Delta variant and the pandemic, but we're moving forward. We have got really normal operations. We are not requiring masks on campus at this time. We have taken all the physical distancing out of the classroom, so we are filling classrooms as normal. An individual instructor is not allowed to require masks or waivers in any of the individual classes. We do offer testing in our student health. Vaccinations are available at Monument Health or local pharmacies. You'll see our athletic and social events are back to normal. And if you do have a question, our numbers, I think when I checked a little bit earlier today, I think we have 12 students positive and maybe 3 faculty staff positive at the moment. But you can go to sdsmt.edu and click on that COVID information link at the very top of the page, and there'll be a dashboard there to show you what our status is, as well as what our procedures are in terms of handling COVID. So our numbers are fairly small, and unfortunately, South Dakota and Pennington County are much higher going on, but we're trying to get through this the best that we can, and we update that dashboard daily to make sure we understand what's going on with that. No masks, and in fact, in vaccinations, we are not allowed to ask if somebody's vaccinated or not either. So we don't really have a good feeling on what the percentage is going forward. But this is really kind of the status for all of the 6 public institutions in the state. And so far, we're all doing well, and we hope that continues through the rest of the fall semester. This is a chart on first-time, full-time enrollment. Actually, I think our census day is tomorrow, or it may be today, that we'll actually get our enrollment numbers, and the Board of Regents will release it tomorrow. But we were predicting we were going to have 500 first-time, full-time freshmen, which would be a good a jump from what we had in the past couple of years. You know, you can see that 2014 year was really a big year, but good freshman class is what we're looking at, and we're thinking we'll be pretty stable with enrollment this year, so that's good. And there's our estimate of where we'll be at when we do our census data, which will be announced, like I say, by the board probably tomorrow, or at least we'll see our first pass of what that is. So we've stopped that trend of going down, and now we just need to keep building it back up. We get a couple freshman classes like the one we're having this year, and that'll be great. Here's a little bit on our graduate enrollment or our graduate education. These are the degrees we've been offering, and you can see we had a little bit of a drop a year ago, but back up again to about 125. One of the things that's an interesting indicator is that very bottom red line. We would like to really, Carnegie has got us classified as a special focus school, engineering special focus, and we would like to become a Research 2 institution. To do that, you have to have $5 million in research, and you'll see later we're quite a bit above that, but you have to have 18 PhD graduates in a year. So we've touched that a couple times before, and we're hoping we can climb above that to get into that Research 2 classification, which separates us a little bit from that other group that we were in. Next slide, please. We continue to make some changes to the degrees that we're offering. We've got a new MS in Green and Sustainable Chemistry, a new Master's in Industrial Engineering. We just added minors in Aerospace Engineering, which is in mechanical, and a minor in Avionics, which is in electrical. Both of those were encouraged by Raven, and they added some support, Raven here out of Sioux Falls. So it was good to see industry engagement and getting those online. And I understand that we're getting a lot of students signing up for the classes in those 2 minors, so great to hear. A minor in biomaterials and in new specializations within our computer science and in our mining engineering and management program. A couple pieces you'll see there at the bottom. Biomedical engineering, we've moved that over into the Department of Nanoscience and Nanoengineering. And then the other one I've already talked about a little bit. One other one we've just taken to the Regents recently is we've asked for ability to plan a PhD in data analytics, data sciences. So it'll be exciting to see how that moves forward, because every field needs more help in data analytics. A little bit of a recap from last year, 320 athletes that competed for us, 3.5 cumulative GPA. So you can see quite a bit of activity, a lot of community service. The athletic teams continue to do a lot of community service. We had a couple teams qualify for postseason, like our women's basketball and men's basketball, and I believe the volleyball, and then turned out that we couldn't play because of a COVID positive on the team or one of the staff members around it. So we weren't able to play in that postseason, but great job for both of those or all three of those to compete and make it through the RMAC to be qualified for a postseason tournament. And then you can see Erica Cable listed in NCAA Woman of the Year nominee. She was our pole vaulter that made it to the Nationals and did a great job. And then for this year, as I say, we're a normal academic year, athletic year. We have had 2 football games already, volleyball game. I think we've got a home volleyball game tomorrow night again. Encourage you, if you're not in the Rapid City, if you're in the Rapid City area, it'd be great for you to come and come join us for some of these games. If not, remember that every one of those athletic events is streamed. And so if you go to gorockers.com, you can actually find a link to the video, and we stream all of a lot of those sports. So have you check it out if you have not done that. Obviously, we always look at how well we do with our graduates getting jobs. We stayed at a 97% placement rate this last year. Average starting salary, $66,156, and a great quote there by Terex Corporation. We continue to do really be proud of that placement rate. The other thing, we've been rated the last 3 years the #1 engineering school in the nation on return on investment. So the value of an education you get by coming to South Dakota Mines continues to be outstanding. And there you can see the top 20 employers of our recent grads. I'll leave that up for just a second here so you can look through it. So a lot of very familiar names on there, and glad to see them. We just had our career fair on Tuesday. Had a lot of compliments to our career services staff on doing a great job, and a lot of compliments to our students that they were really well prepared and did a great job with their interviews. So always great to see those and to hear that good word. We still do a lot of internships for our students. More than 3/4 of our students graduate with an internship. And then you can see the different employers, a number of employers that were paid at a $20 an average hourly wage. One of the stats that came out this year that I was impressed with was if you did an internship before you graduated, your starting salary was 24% higher than somebody who did not do an internship. So it really shows the value of an internship while you're going to school. Our faculty, staff, and students continue to be very inventive. You can see the number of invention disclosures that are filed with our Office of Economic Development. A great year for that, and that's what we like to see. We like to say our faculty and staff are 3 times more inventive than the national average. Nationally, it's just a hair under 1 invention disclosure for $3 million worth of research. We're doing 1 invention disclosure for about every $1 million worth of research. So that's a pretty good indication of the great things our faculty and staff are doing. We love this chart. Just shows the comparison with the other 2 larger research universities in the state and how well our students are doing, or excuse me, our faculty and staff are doing, and some students are co-inventors on these as well. So great to see, and we really like to tout this one. Well, you know, the seed corn for all those invention disclosures is our research, and you can see that our research continues to grow up. It's really a month-by-month chart, but if you take a look at what that last data point is on the right, you can see that this last year we hit $17.2 million in research expenditures. So, you know, that's pretty good number. Actually, I'm going to have to take that back because whoever did this, we didn't plot it in the right spot. If that's really 17.2, it looks to me like we're here over 14 on this graph. So I'm going to have to take a look at that graph and re-edit it if we need to. But the trend going up is good. Great to see that the success. And I think we've got a couple slides here on some of our projects. So go ahead to the next one here, if you would, Jade. Let's see. So some of the NSF projects we've got here, this Advance, this is really a program for doing, it really helps to promote women faculty in the STEM fields. It's really a national program out of NSF called Advance. This is really the first one we've got. It's really going to be interesting to see how this changes for us on our campus and makes us stronger. You can see this IUCRC, School of Mines, Center for Solid State Electric Power Storage. Alice Smirnova is the leader of that one, and she's got partners at Northeastern and Syracuse. And really, it's good. IUCRC is an industry use university collaborative research group. And this Center for Solid State Electric Power, I mean, that's really the wave of the future, and she's doing great work there. So this is going to be an exciting project as we go forward. And then you can see this STEM actually that we've got Dr. Berencott has put together, Cassandra, and it's really about increasing the number of first generation college students that come to campus, and a great program that will help with scholarships and move our student body forward. This next one, Center for Understanding and Disrupting the Illicit Economy, is very interesting. John Keller out of Metallurgical Engineering and several of his co-PIs, but you can see the partner institutions down there. Really, how do you understand if something is fake or artificial? You know, it could be a relic for an artwork, or it could be money. And so it really is an interesting project they've got going. It's great to see it going with other universities. Actually, I should switch here. The Governor's Research Program. So the Governor's Research Center project, they awarded 3 of them this year. So the one led by Dr. Keller is one. We also got one for Alice Minorva's on the solid state batteries. And then the third one, SDSU won, but we're actually on that team as well. So Mines faculty were involved in all 3 of the projects picked for the Governor's Research Center project. So our folks continue to do outstanding research as we move forward. And you probably saw the press release. This came out this week. Grant Crawford has just got this released, the Cold Regions Research and Engineering Lab on advanced materials and manufacturing for cold regions, 11.2 million over 5 years. So a lot of great help out of Senator Round's office to help get this put in place. And we just had the team from the CREL on campus a month or so ago to meet with our researchers and get started on this. So exciting one. And like I say, if you have not checked the news on our main page, you'll find a story all about the research they're doing. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that. This is an interesting group. NSEN is the National Security Innovation Network, and they have put a person on our campus. So Jason Combs is located on our campus, and his job is to connect our faculty, staff, and students with different Defense Department groupings to make sure, is there a problem that we could help with, or is there some of our research that would be applicable to some of the defense organizations? And over on the left there, you can take a little bit. We've had student groups, they call it Hacking for Defense, and they put together some projects for them to go work on. If you take a look at that stripe in the lower left corner, these are the number of NSEN projects that have been used out at Ellsworth Air Force Base. Well, it's great to see we're at the top with 5, and some of those other folks like, Penn State and George Mason and UT Austin down there with 1. So it really shows the strength of having Jason located right on our campus and making sure we've got a strong connection with, not only Ellsworth, but the whole, defense organization. So it's really a good, strong program. And if you're back on campus, it's worth talking to Jason and finding out what they're doing. We're going to switch over now to a little bit of some of the building projects and some of the facilities that we've got going on. Here you can see the civil engineering lab renovations. There was a nice gift came into the department, and they've been using that to update their labs and more modernize them. And so those are looking great. And I think you're going to see more improvements as we go along. Next slide. Devereaux Library is going to have windows. So if you're anywhere near Rapid City, we've already knocked out some of the brick on the back to get rid of the brick and start putting in the windows and the steel back there. But this is going to be really interesting. So the lower level is still going to have industrial engineering in it. And then on the main level, there'll be like Einstein's coffee shop. There'll be study areas. There will be some glass walled rooms with technology where 6 to 8 students can get together and work on a project. We'll have career services between first and second floor. Career services will be in there. Student success will be in there. Mentoring, tutoring. There will be the slide rule, which is a math tutoring area is going to be in there. And then there will be a model shop put in there on those, the ground level, and the one level right above it is where those are going to go. And in the books, we've gotten rid of a lot of books that just weren't being used. So the top floor is where we really kept our archives and some of the books that we did not want to get rid of. So this is going to be an excellent student space. You're going to see a lot of students want to be over here and congregate. We really outgrew the lobby area of Cerbex where a lot of the students would study. And so we're excited to see this coming forward. As it says there, opening July 2022, next summer. We're hoping to have that opened up. So really excited to see that. New Mineral Industries building. This one has been discussed for a long, long time. We were able to put this in front of the legislature last year. They were generous in giving us $19 million for this building. It's a $34 million building. We have $3 million that we can put in from the university, and then we are fundraising the other $12 million. Kara, our advancement group is doing a good job of being out fundraising. We just spent the last 3 days in Vegas at the mining expo, talking to companies and making sure they understood what we were trying to do and how we were going to move this forward. So we're looking to do the groundbreaking and construction sometime in the spring semester as we move this forward. But you can't really tell from that picture, but the picture on the left, the building on the right is O'Hara. Yeah, right there is O'Hara. And the building on the left is the old gym or the music center now. And so you'll be able to go right through it. And as you walk into that glassed in area, that entrance, you'll go in that bottom floor, but you'll come out on the one floor up, and that'll be right next to the paleontology building, which you can see in that right-hand picture. So exciting. We're still, like I say, doing some fundraising. We're working hard to make sure we got all that money to get this thing completed, and we'll move the 3 departments over, geology and geological engineering, metallurgical engineering, and then mining engineering and management will all move over into this particular building. So first academic new building in quite a while. The other project that we have is this Cerbex Center expansion, and you can see how we'd expanded it out there to the right, and then you can see a little bit on the left how they're coming out. We're going to move admissions out of the O'Hara building and move them into Cerbex. This will be a better front door for prospective students than over coming into the Cerbex building, into the O'Hara building. And so we'll put admissions on the top floor. Those are kind of the windows to the left. And the windows to the right are the ones that'll be like a conference center in there. And then dining gets expanded there on the lower levels. And so a great need. And so we've got about a $6 million price tag on that. We're raising funds for that one right now, and looking forward to getting that project completed as well. If you've been on campus recently, Ascend Innovation is the incubator that's in the back campus. It's right behind the music building, 40,000 square feet. The Black Hills Economic Development Group Foundation actually started that years ago. Well, they have now built a brand new business incubator accelerator, and it's down next to the post office off Main Street. And so they're looking to sell this building. We will put a request in for $5.25 million to the legislature again this year for funds and authority to buy this building. And then we will turn it into, it'll be about 30,000 square feet of research space, which we really need, as you can tell from all those research projects we've gotten. And then up in front is some office space. So we'll move the VP for research and economic development up into that area. There'll be a little bit more entrepreneurship focus in the front end. But we really do need to get this building. And so that's what we'll be taking to the legislature for this year. The Board of Regents approved it and put it on their list. We're hoping the governor, when she issues her budget address in December, that she will put this building on her in her speech, so that makes it a little easier to get approval through the legislature if it's on her or included in her budget address. The city of Rapid City has a program called the Vision Funds, and they have $24 million to spend. And so one of the things that we put in, or the thing that we've put forward, is the renovation of the stadium. Get rid of the skyboxes we have up there right now and rebuild new skyboxes up there. Move all of the game officials and the coaches to this side of the field instead of being on both sides of the field. There would be one or two small boxes on the end that could be used for private activities, but mostly it would be game officials up there. I think it was really interesting where you see if you look on the right-hand pictures, where it says Hard Rockers is all electronic signage. And so when Central comes, it changes to Cobblers and the background lighting is red. And when Stevens plays, it says Raiders and it goes to blue. And so you'll see that in there. Where the Grubby Head logo is at, that's actually an elevator in the staircase, so it's easier to get up to that top floor. We will revamp the concession stand. The old building does not have a women's locker room. And so like during the state track meet, the women have to change in the restroom, or they have to go up to the King Center to do that. So we're adding a locker room that has room for 60 men on one side and 40 women on the other side. But when the high schools use it for football, the wall comes out between the two, and now it's a 100-person locker room so that the football team can all be together. We do not have a officials room that's very good. They essentially are in almost like a bathroom for the officials. So there will be an officials room and a training room. The concession stands will all be renovated. So we are, like I say, we put this into the city of Rapid City for the project, and we are hoping they will fund it so we can move forward, because it really is a community betterment project. And then M Hill, if you've not climbed M Hill recently, I know I was shocked when I went up there a couple of years ago when I first got here, that there's cracks and there's weeds, and it's just really, the M particularly is in really bad shape. And so what we've been looking at is we've had Dr. Scott Kenner leading a senior design group over in civil engineering. What would it take to break up the M, or at least break up the M, and I think probably all three of the letters, re-pour new concrete down, re-put clean up all the plaques, put the plaques back in an orderly fashion. I think it's really going to be great to see that in a new shape that's in there. I get questions a lot of time, is it the old M or the new M? It's the old M. This is a legacy project. We're not switching over to the new M. This will stay with our legacy M up on the hill. And so there is a fundraising effort. Actually, go to the next slide, if you would, Jade. Yeah, so I don't know if I kept it, but the other piece in here is it's hard to cut across or go straight up that hill. So what if we designed a switchback trail with some benches in there and places to stop and rest to get towards the top, put a rock garden in up at the top, and then a place for all the 5-year plaques to be congregated together. Really a great project going forward. And so there's actually donations. We think this is probably a $125,000 project is what we're thinking, and maybe another $30,000 for the Switchback Trail. So we've got an active fundraising program over at CARA. If this is something you're interested in donating to, I'd encourage you to join in and see if we get the funds raised so we can get this project started. All right, next slide. You know, we postponed the reunion last year with COVID. It got to be February or March, and we thought, well, do we hold it again? Do we cancel it? What do we do? And the group over at the CARA board got together and voted and said, well, let's make it a reunion light. You know, if we get 25 people to show up, great. Well, then it became 200, and then it was 400, and then ended up with 1,100 people. It was the biggest reunion we've ever had. and just an outstanding group. And I see Jade has put the M Hill fundraising page into the chat box if that's of interest to you, and hopefully it is. But a great reunion. We had fantastic sponsors who paid for a lot of the costs. That should only cost you $10 to come, including the Saturday night banquet. And it was a great time to see everybody. And hopefully, if you did not get a chance to attend, you'll come back when we have the next one. The next one's only 4 years away, so we won't change the date. It'll be in 2025. And then just a couple things. You heard Sarah say that next week is M Week, and so you'll see that. Hopefully, you'll come to some of the events we have. You will see a press release shortly. Our chemical and biological engineering that will be named the Karen M. Swindler Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering on October 7th. And so we're excited about that. So look forward to that. We do have the President's Scholarship Dinner out at Arrowhead Country Club on October 8th. And fall commencement will be December 18th. So we're really excited to see that move forward. So I think that might have been it. Are there any questions that I might be able to answer?
If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or the Q&A, and we'll watch for them, and I'll read them out loud for Dr. Rankin. You must have answered all their questions, Dr. Rankin.
Or they all fell asleep, one of the two. No.
Shane asks, any updates as to the overall how the career fair event went this week?
Yeah, my understanding went really, really well. I was not able to attend since we were out traveling, but I've gotten a couple comments. In fact, one of the regents sent me a note, said his wife had attended as a recruiter and was really impressed with the organization of the event and how well it went, as well as how well prepared the students were. So always great to hear that. I don't know the exact number of companies. We actually have a virtual version because some companies weren't able to come, and so there's a virtual version of the career fair as well. And I don't have the date of that. Jade or Sarah, do you know what that is?
I believe it's September 30th.
Okay. So
there's two questions about M Hill that came through. Is the M Hill project properly labeled cement, not concrete?
You're talking to an electrical engineer, so I know I use the wrong word all the time. So I will have to leave that to Scott Kenner and everybody on how they're doing that. But that's a good point.
And then, okay, and then the other one came in from Bruce. When does the M Hill fundraising end?
I think we're going to continue it until we get all the money. I don't think there's a definite end period. The longer it takes us to raise all the funds, that's just the longer it takes for us to get started. But I don't think there's a definite end period to it.
From what I know, the goal is to have it done by homecoming of 2020, if everything goes right, which would be September 24th, 2020. And I believe they'll hopefully start in the springtime doing working it out. Bill Benton says, any further discussion about combining administrative functions with other state institutions?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. This is Senate Bill 55 that was passed a year ago. That was the one that said, how do we combine Black Hill State and mines? And then before it got out of the legislature, they changed it to an efficiency report on all 6 institutions. The Board of Regents will be having public listening sessions starting here in a couple of weeks. The one out in Rapid City in the classroom building will be on the night of October 5th. And public is welcome to come attend and ask questions. There'll actually be a listening session on every one of the 6 campuses for people to listen. It's, some of the things they're looking at is 6 campuses and we have 3 different food providers. Would it be more efficient if we just had one contract for all 6 campuses with one provider? So, that'll be a question to look at. On the other hand, part of the challenge is that, when they come to do something, I think whoever the food provider is at Northern made a nice contribution to their brand new athletic stadium. So, each one of us has kind of a separate deal, and we don't want those to go away either, or renovating your kitchen in your dining area. So we're looking at that. So hopefully that won't be an issue. We have looked at some ways to be more expedient with even Black Hills State. One of the things we have is like travel processing. If your expense reports, things of that nature, why have an office at both places when we could actually share that activity? Because most of it's done via email anyway. And so we've looked at a couple, back office functions to see what we could do to be more efficient just between the 2 campuses here.
How is the ratio of in-state versus out-of-state new students?
I have not seen the numbers, but I think last year we were about 50-50 between in-state and out-of-state students.
Roy Hoffman says, how is the computer lab update coming along?
Well, I haven't been back over to tour since we did that video on McClory, so I have to say I don't know, but I think we could probably find out that answer for you.
I think we got everything answered, caught up. Oh. How bad are we going to beat Black Hills State for the home stake trophy? I guess. And then a shout out to the football team for their first 2 home wins.
Yeah, 2 wins. And Friday night we go down to Chadron. Chadron will be a tough game. They gave us a couple tough games last year. We play Black Hills State out in October. I don't remember the exact date of it. But we handled them last year, and we're hoping to do that again this year. The team is looking good. We hope that'll continue. We expect to see that. Let's see. Jade had prompted me with a question. In terms of our survey we do of who got jobs and things of that like that, the 97% placement rate and starting salary. It was good to notice that this year that our women had a higher starting salary than the men. So that was a different statistic than what we've seen in the past. So that's good. And then, okay, Jade just put the Black Hills State game in October 30th. So hopefully we make it like Halloween for them.
I thought it was October 30th, but I wanted to double check.
Yep.
The other location we're going down to next month is we're going to go down to Colorado Mines. So we play them October 16th, and we're going to have a tailgate, a Hard Rock Club and Kara sponsored tailgate starting at 10:30. So for those in Colorado.
Yeah, if you're in the Denver area, we're going to be having a student recruitment event. I believe that's going to be over at Newmont. I don't remember the exact date. That might be Wednesday or Thursday, but I'm not positive. 14th. Then we'll do some events, and then again over at Golden that Saturday there'll be a pregame tailgate over there, and should be quite a few of us down there. So hopefully, if you're in the Denver area, you'll come over and join us as well.
Yes, and emails for the Denver area should go out tomorrow. We're getting everything finalized. So just to watch for those.
I see somebody commented about the reunion. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. We had a good event. President's motorcycle ride. I think we had 18 bikes and like 24 people, 25, a couple cars. And we had a good time with that as well. And rode up to Sturgis and had steak tips at the Loud American, and then came back down through Spearfish or Deadwood and down 385 and Rimrock back into Rapid City. So good time. We'll have to figure out where the 3rd annual President Scholarship Ride goes and at what dates we have that, but we have not done that yet. I don't remember the exact numbers, and I'll let Jade remind me or Sarah remind me, but We've been running about 30% to 35% in state, but the number of companies moving into Rapid City and Sioux Falls, and I think you're going to see that number go up. There's a lot of companies that are moving into South Dakota, and I'm hoping that will help out. And plus all the work we're doing with startup companies and business or incubators and accelerators. We just need to keep creating more jobs so that student can stay in South Dakota if they want to.
These are all good questions. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Marlene, for that one. Let's see if there's. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had the a reception down at this new incubator down by the post office on Monday. And it was good. It was always a pitch. We try to get companies to think about, well, if you're not interested in locating to Rapid City, would you be interested in locating an office there or some branch of your company into Rapid City? So good for those recruiters that were in town to get a chance to see what that looks like and maybe get them interested. We're also hoping that we can play a role in some of these B21 companies that are coming into town so that they might locate between ourselves and the new incubator. They're calling it the Innovation District right now, but we're trying to think of a new name. We need to get better at that, need a more attractive name or descriptive name. And so, but we're hoping that they'll want to locate down in that area as well. So we can get a lot more businesses and a lot more technical companies. So we'll wait a couple of minutes here, but if you have questions that you don't ask, feel free to drop us an email. You can get hold of me at president@sdsmt.edu or jim.rankin@sdsmt.edu. Either one of those will get to me and be happy to answer any questions you might have. I get a lot of emails, and a lot of it every Wednesday we send out an email about a COVID update of what's going on at campus, where's it at, and I get a lot of emails on both sides related to that, and so it's but yeah, that's the best way to get hold of me is to do that. So I'd encourage you to reach out if you've got a question or something that you wanted to pass along.
And while we're waiting, I'll drop the link for homecoming so you can view the full schedule and what it looks like. Another thing I forgot to mention is we're doing a first ever alumni band reunion. So Dr. Haley Armstrong is leading this effort. So if that's something you're interested in, the link will give you more information about that. You can also register for M-Day events there. We greatly appreciate it, just to have an idea who's coming. And then just some shameless plugs for the upcoming webinars that are going on. Next month, October 7th, electrical engineering is going to provide a digital a department update through Zoom. And then October 21st, Dr. Cassandra Barancott is going to talk about SD first. And I'll put the link in there with more information about what that initiative is that she's working on, in case you have any questions. So
I was going to say, I saw a note the other day that sounds like we will not have a bonfire or a burning of the M this year. The fire department has not approved our permit because it's so dry in the Black Hills and don't want to take any chances with fire. So that will be one item that will be canceled or actually replaced with something else. I don't think we figured out what that something else is yet, but yeah, things are pretty dry out here if you've not been out here recently.
yes. Oh, let me get the SD first link. It didn't move over. There it is. Okay, and then as always, I'm always looking for feedback, and If you're looking at different ways to get involved, there's a survey link I'll drop too. So we always appreciate your feedback. And again, if you have any questions, I'm sure Dr. Rankin will be here for a few more minutes. Just feel free to send them in the Q&A or drop them in the chat and we'll watch for them.
Appreciate your joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you on campus soon. And it's an exciting time, and we're going to continue to keep growing and educating great students. So thank you for being with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. And then we'll also, again, we have this recorded, so we'll get that uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you need to view it again or send it on to somebody, let me know and we'll get the link out for you. So appreciate it.
Well, I think I will go ahead and sign off. Like I say, I'm in Sioux Falls, and so we're going to go make some industry and visits and see what we can do to continue to promote the school. So again, thank you for joining us, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Rankin.